All right, and it's that time now for some trends and angles with my favorite guy, Mr. Ralph Michaels at Cal Sports LV. You guys, Ralph just hit 18,000 followers. If you are not one of them, get your ass over to Twitter and follow at Cal Sports LV. Ralph, I already know you got some good stuff for me. I already saw a couple of things on Twitter. I asked you to elaborate on today's show. Tell me what you got for us, NFL Week 5.
Well, Kelly, I want to bring up scoring first. I don't have any wild trends or angles to go with it, but I want our customers to be cautious. Why? Everyone's on the over bandwagon. Overs have hit 62.1%. But when I went through and I compared 2020, the first 4 games, to the first 4 games of 2015 through 2019, that's when they moved the extra point line back. Scoring is up 5.28 points per game. Totals are up 2.1 points per game. So while we went 50% for that 5-year total, and we're 62% this year, there's only a 3% difference. So there's not a gap that's going to say these numbers are going to continue to climb. So do be cautious. The second thing I want to point out, there is no question Vegas has caught up to where the overs are. Despite the number of overs last year, look at these numbers this season. Week 1, the average total, 45.8. Week 2, 46.3. Week 3, 48.2. Week 4, 49.5. And this week, the average total, 50.6 points per game. We went from 45.8, increased every week. Totals are up almost 4.8 points per game, the average over-under line. So this over-under streak will not continue. Vegas will continue to raise those numbers. So it's just buyer beware. Nothing here that I'm telling you what to do, not to bet overs or bet unders. But again, the market catches up to the way the NFL is playing. It has caught up. So be cautious. There's going to be a week coming up here where there's a lot of unders. I don't want you to get burned in that situation.
I do think it's important, and I know that we have seen a lot of games flying over, as you mentioned, over a 60% clip, but it is always important to just not blindly do that anyway. Pick and choose your spots. Ralph, what else have you dug up for us for this week?
You know, I have 2 angles. If I gave them to you independently, Kelly, you would probably say that's a wow angle, and you might bet the team because of that. But let me give you these 2 and see how close they are, but yet the records are different. First, I called good offense versus good defense. You take an NFL team that scored 43 or more points in their last game against an NFL team that allowed 11 or less. So I'm talking about Cleveland and Indianapolis this week. If you eliminate 9+ point dogs and get rid of the real low total, so you're 42 or higher, the teams like Cleveland that scored 43 or more points are 13, 27, and 3, 32.5% against the spread. So the good defense does beat the good offense. Okay? But how about now? I just told you that system says bet the Colts, and it makes sense to me. Now, how about this? In game number 4 or higher, so you're getting rid of the first 3 weeks because I'm using a win percentage of 70 or more. So we don't want a 1-0 team that has a 100 win percentage. So both teams have a win percentage of 70% or higher, and one team won outright as a dog. So the Browns won as a dog last week. They are 3-1, a win percentage over 70%. The Colts are 3-1, a win percentage over 70%. The team that won as a dog, 25-10, 71% against the spread. So a 32% on Cleveland, saying a good team and a bad team, a 71% on Indianapolis with a good team and a bad team. So I just want to show you, you can always make a team look good. The most important thing when looking for a game is making sure you look at the information that's against you and how strong is that information. So those are still great systems that I would write down that will be active in the future, and they won't be going against each other. But for this week, they do conflict. talking about upsets, we talked about the Browns winning as a dog. The Eagles won as a dog out in San Francisco. And this one is just so simple. It's almost mind-numbing how effective it is and how simple it is. When a team wins as a dog of 6 or more, like the Eagles did, and they're a dog the next week of 6 or more, that's it. They won as a dog of 6 or more. This week they are a dog of 6 or more. Doesn't matter if they're home. Doesn't matter if they're on the road. Those teams like Philadelphia, 3-50 straight up, 13-39-1 against the spread, 25%. So add in, let's see, Philadelphia on a short week, now coming back to face a rival that they've beaten the last 3 times. I think you said you sort of like the Steelers. I think I'm with you, Kelly.
I like it, Ralph. That is a great stat. And I saw that last night on Twitter as well. That one is just enough to push me over the edge.
You know, I talked about overs and unders and saying, well, you know, I don't want you to bet overs or unders, but here's one that's going to lean towards some of the unders. The first 7 weeks of the season, when we have an away favorite of 3 or more, so it happens often. Just any game, first 7 weeks of the season, away favorites of 3 or more have gone 21-44 over under. That's 69% to the under. It applies to Tampa Bay, the Rams, and Arizona this week. I will say that this year it is 8-6. So clearly it has slanted over the total, but that 8-6 number is included in the 21-44 over under number. So keep that in mind. Early in the season, the first half of the season, if you have away favorites of 3 or more, they do tend to go under the total. I have 2 more for you. Game 5 of the NFL season. You went over in Game 1. You went over in Game 2. You went over in Game 3. You went over in Game 4. That is the Raiders, the Bills, and the New Orleans Saints. Cal, I'm going to put you on the spot. Game 5 go over, or does it go under?
Game 5 goes under.
In the last 23 times since 2007, if the first 4 games have gone over, 4 overs, 18 unders, and a push. Way under the total.
With those questions. Usually get me to say the generic answer, so I didn't think long on that one. I was like, it's definitely going under.
So yeah, I mean that's a big under for those teams. You've gone over 4 straight games. Now you're to Game 5, 4 overs, 18 unders, and a push. Significant underplays there.
And those are which teams this week? Sorry.
Those are the Raiders, the Bills, and the Saints this week. And the last one, this isn't week specific. So write this down. It's easy to mark down. It's easy to check. You don't have to look up any stats. A team off a straight up an ATS loss against a team off a straight up an ATS win, and the lines between the 3s. So does the losing team continue to lose and the winning team continue to win, or does it reverse? Well, in this situation, we're talking about Atlanta and Carolina. The team that lost, like Atlanta, has gone 8-31 against the spread, 20.5%. And Kelly, you're going to love this. Remember, we're talking between the 3s. So there's a couple times where there are favorites. Straight up, the team has gone 10-31. So there's some money line sprinkles available there. So if a team is off a straight up loss against a team off a straight up win, and the lines between the 3s, the team that has won last week and covered has covered 79.5% of the time.
Awesome stuff, Ralph. Look, guys, if you have a question for Ralph, all you have to do is tweet him at CalSportsLV. He's always great. He's got this extensive database that he shares with all of us and the rest of the Twitter universe. Thank you again to Ralph. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, more Bet on It.